Let's cook Persian food together. I'll teach you the recipes that you need to know and the cultural traditions that will keep you connected to your culture and heritage. Thanks for joining.
Hi everybody, welcome. This is Bita, and today I am cooking Khoresht Karafs, one of the staples of Persian cuisine. A beautiful blend of celery, herbs like mint and parsley with onions, a little bit of lemon juice, and a little bit of tomato sauce to round it all out. So let's get to it. Khoresht Karafs, one of my favorite dishes, a go-to dish in my household, and we're going to start off with onions, as in almost every Persian dish starts off with fried onions, piyaz dagh, and let's go ahead and make some today.
I'll go ahead and speed it up here, but basically I'm dicing up 2 large yellow onions and putting it into a big pot with a bunch of avocado oil. I'll give it a little mix, and this will become the bed for the protein coming up.
All right, so I'll go ahead and season the chicken now and get it ready to put in with the onions here in just a second. Ooh, it is looking good already. I do also like to add a little bit of salt to the onions while it's cooking. Get out the moisture now. Once it caramelizes, I will add a little bit of turmeric. Also, I will also season the chicken with a little bit of turmeric here. Salt. Pepper. And I put a dash of cinnamon. Okay, let's go ahead and mix this up. And this will be ready to put in here with the chicken here in just a minute. I'm going to let the chicken... All right, I'm going to let the onions caramelize a little bit more, and my chicken is ready to join the party in just a minute. I'll put it over here for now. Okay, so this other pot, our oil is getting hot here. Let's go ahead and get our herb and celery mixture going. I'm cooking here in 2 different pots. I'm cooking at the same time, and I'll combine the 2 pots in a little bit once everything has its chance to cook separately. All right, so I have some fresh mint here, one of the iconic herbs, as well as parsley. And I'm making a big batch here, so I'm going to go ahead and use fresh. And I'm also going to supplement with some dried herbs too, just so that I can make sure I really get that flavor profile home. And I do that a lot. I'll supplement with dried herbs just to make it a little bit more special. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give the herbs a little bit of a rough chop. Trying to keep out any big stems if they made it through. I don't need to get it too fine. Okay, so into this hot oil, I am going to drop the herbs. While I'm at it, I'm going to give a little mix to my onions, and I'm going to go ahead and mix up my herbs. Okay, so that won't take long, so I'm going to move on quickly to my celery. And the celery, you can definitely use the leaves. I like to do the pieces in about 1-inch sections here. So I'm just going to run my knife through it very easily all together. No need to separate it out. This is washed and ready to go. And I'll even go down to the very end and get all of that. So I'm going to go ahead here. Let's see. That is good. The herbs are delicate. I don't want to burn them. I just wanted them to get a little bit of kiss of that heat before the celery goes in. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and with the first one, get it in. And I think this is going to want a little bit more avocado oil. Make sure that has the opportunity to get golden. It will get really golden, just with like a little bit, like I said, a little kiss of the heat. It will get a little bit of color on it. All right, and let's see. And here we go for our second celery. And I'm making a pretty big batch here. You could definitely just do one stalk of celery, one big head of stalk of celery. But I'm making a big batch here today. Okay, seeing my onions over there too. So this part, I'm just going to go ahead and finish this off. Okay, let's get back to the chicken now. I think these guys are ready to go into this beautiful pot here with the onions. Give a little bit of a mix there. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put all of this chicken into the pot with the onions, and it's going to fry up together and get a nice little bit of color on it before we cook it with some broth. And what I've used here is boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and I've cut them into about 1.5 to 2 inch slices. And so that's big enough for nice little portions throughout the stew. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just increase the heat a little bit on the chicken and let that cook along. I'm going to take a minute to talk about the different proteins that you can use for Khoresht Karafs. I'm using chicken here. I use a very easy, simple, boneless, skinless chicken that I bought from the grocer, and I cut it, and I'm just kind of throwing it in there. You can definitely use store-bought cooked chicken if you wanted to make a really easy shortcut, but this dish also pairs well with beef or lamb. So you can stew that kind of the similar style. First cook it with a little bit of heat with the onions, and then you'll cover it up and let it simmer. And also, I love actually making Khoresht Karafs vegan or vegetarian, but if you do it vegan, you can just use vegetable broth. I'm going to be using chicken broth a little bit later. But you can also substitute any of the meat for with tofu. I love to just use the plain white soaking tofu, and I'll cut it into triangles, and I'll put it in there with the Khoresht Karafs as a fun little alternative. I'm just going to let these cook while I clean up a little bit. All right, so about 10 minutes has gone by, and the chicken has been continuing to sear in this pot with the onions. And as you can tell, some of the juice is already starting to come out of the chicken. And this is a perfect time for us to now move on to our next step. So I don't want to forget the dried herbs that I mentioned earlier. So I'm using some dried mint to supplement the fresh mint that I have already put in there. And I'm going pretty generous with my herbs. I really do love the flavor profile that the herbs bring to the dish, to the Khoresht Karafs. So I'm definitely, I don't want to skimp on any of the herbs. So I've got some mint, and here is my parsley. And again, I use a bunch of fresh parsley as well, but I do want to really have a bunch of those herbs in here. Okay, great. A little bit more salt and pepper here. Definitely want my food to be well seasoned. Hey Google, stop. And I'm going to go ahead and mix it up and get ready to combine the two different pots here. Those fresh herbs, those dried herbs really do bring a lot of aroma and flavor to this dish. Okay, that is looking good. Let me just give you a little peek here of what this looks like. That is just the celery with the mint and the parsley. That's just the celery and the fresh. This is just the celery, the fresh herbs, and the dried herbs. And here our chicken with its juices coming out with the onions. I am going to combine the two dishes here, and then we will add any. I'm going to go and combine the two dishes here. Okay, so this guy, we've combined the two pots together, and I'm going to go ahead now and add the chicken broth here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and add, this is just chicken bone broth, and I'm going to go ahead and add this all in here. Let everything nestle in. And I'm going to cover the pot and let this simmer away for about half an hour until everything is cooked together and super luscious. And at that time, I'm going to add a little bit of tomato sauce and a little bit of fresh lemon juice to finish it all off. All right, we are on our home stretch. This stew has been simmering away with the chicken and the celery and the herbs, mint and parsley, a little bit of dash of cinnamon, a little bit of turmeric, salt and pepper. And now we are ready for the next step on this Khoresht Karafs. We are pretty much almost done. All of the ingredients have been simmering away together. And now since it's already now all the way cooked through, I'm going to go ahead and add my tomato sauce here. You can add tomato paste and then dilute it with a little bit of water, but I'm just going to go in straight with the sauce here. This is regional. Some regions don't include the tomato sauce, but it really adds a fun little tanginess to it and also really makes the color very vibrant. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mix that in. And the final ingredient that I love in Khoresht Karafs is a fresh squeeze of lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze half a lemon in here, and then I'll take it from there. If I feel like it needs to have a little bit of extra seasoning or not, or a little bit of extra citrus, I'll add it in then. Okay, I'm going to go straight into the pot here and squeeze my lemon. I do love that citrusy lemon flavor in my Khoresht Karafs. All right, and now this is looking perfect. I'm going to just show you how this looks like. This is the stew Khoresht Karafs, beautiful chicken thighs with celery, mint, and parsley. Delicious in a delicious broth. And now I get to taste it. Ooh, get a little bit of that celery and that delicious broth with herbs and onions in it. Mm, mm. So good, so good. You know, I'm actually going to go in with the other half of the lemon. I really like this with a little bit of a tartness to it. So I'm going to just go ahead and squeeze the rest of this lemon in here too. Careful not to get the seeds in. All right. All right, friends, here you go. Khoresht Karafs, celery and herb stew, a favorite in my home. I hope you like this recipe. Thanks and see you next time. Bye.
Hope you've enjoyed cooking Khoresht with me today. Check out my other videos as well to connect to your culture and learn how to make Persian food. Thank you.